And you recently said that you've never seen such a clear and present danger to our democracy as we now see under Donald Trump. Have you ever seen this in the past 100 years of conservatism, especially when there's been a Republican president?
Never to this extent. We saw it to some extent in the McCarthy era when Joseph McCarthy was running rampant over human rights, the rule of law, due process in his extraordinary red baiting. And the conservative response to McCarthy, I think, explains a lot of the conservative response to Donald Trump. Conservatives like Robert Taft, senator from Ohio, son of a president, they recognized what McCarthy was doing, but they embraced it. He might be a bully, but he's our bully, and we need him. Well, Trump might be a bully. He might, not represent what we think should be a moral human being, but he's our bully. He's going to fight for us, and that is what matters. And that's why, Trump could say, I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and it wouldn't dent my base, because his base has nothing to do with the supposed conservative core values of law and order or personal responsibility. But we have never seen any previous president, Republican or Democrat, take such clear aim at the traditions of our democracy. Go back to the January 6, 2021, an unprecedented coup attempt. And it was a coup attempt, an attempt to stop the peaceful transfer of power that had been the hallmark of our democracy for well over 200 years. And I can go into all of the ways in which Donald Trump has trampled on our democracy in his second term. And I am worried, because our one defense, what has really kept America to preserve its democracy, is free and fair elections. Look, democracy is precious, but like all precious things, it can be destroyed. For most of human history, we had no democracy. The first golden age of democracy was right after World War I, 20th century, when you had about 24 democracies. By the 1940s, it was cut in half. Late 20th century had another revival of democracy, second golden age, and it's all going down the drain around the world in the 21st century. And the thin reed that's protecting us is free and fair elections. That is why you see Donald Trump going after our elections. And, I'm not a Cassandra. I'm not a prophet of doom. I never have been. But I'm very worried about whether Donald Trump is going to allow us to have a free and fair election in 2026 or 2028. Is his use of the military and the National Guard just a prelude to the use of those forces to destroy free and fair elections in this country? We should all be very, very, very worried.
I'm sure if a Republican lawmaker or a Republican in general was sitting here right now, they would say, you're being outlandish by saying that you're scared, that there's not going to be a free and fair election. This is America. What are you talking about? What would be your response to that?
My response to that is, yes, this is America, and this is the hallmark, but Donald Trump is trampling and violating the very secure foundations of our free elections. He instigated a coup, the first time in the history of the country, with the violent storming of the Capitol. He sat for 3 hours and let the violence proceed in an attempt to stop the peaceful transfer of power. He even incited the crowd by, attacking Mike Pence when they're chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." He has tried to override the election laws of the state, demanding that they abolish mail-in voting, a mainstay of our election system today. He has demanded, against the Constitution and the law, that they require documentary proof of citizenship to vote. He has made unprecedented use of the military. He has demanded information on individual voters. This is not being a Cassandra. This is simply responding to the reality of what is going on in America today.